This is Defeating Adventism number 2. I would highly recommend that you watch number 1, which defines key terms that I'm going to use here, such as what is the gospel? What is the gospel? What does the Bible say the gospel is? What does Adventism say the gospel is? The two are not the same. And just to cut to the chase now and make it clear, Adventism teaches a false gospel, as you will see demonstrated in that video. But we're going to peel this onion back a layer further and ask this question right here. Can the Seventh-day Adventist Church preach the biblical gospel? Is it capable of preaching the gospel? Well, you know what I'm going to say here? They answer the question for us, they being Adventists. And the answer is no, they can't. And I'm going to show you what I call confessions. I got 3 confessions by the Adventist Church where they tell us they cannot preach the true gospel of the Bible. Look at this first one here from the Review and Herald magazine, November 29, 1934, page 1. And look what's underlined here as they talk about the gospel message in Confession 1. We cannot preach this gospel message as Noah preached it, or as Paul, or as Luther gave it. Then they go on really to say it's a gospel message for our time. You see what they're admitting there? They can't preach the gospel message that the Apostle Paul preached. But the Apostle Paul tells us what the gospel message is. But this magazine is saying we can't preach that message. That's serious. Let's look at confession number 2. May 5th, 1932. This prophecy of Revelation 14:6-14 does not and cannot refer to any proclamation of the gospel in the days of the apostles. You see what they do here in Confession 2? They again tell us the gospel message of Adventism, we're not going to find it in the Bible because we're not going to find any apostles preaching it. And you know, they're right. Absolutely. But look at the bottom of the slide. What does it say? Even if we or an angel from heaven, there were 3 angels, preach a gospel other than the one in which we taught you, let them be accursed. They're admitting to us right now in Confession 2. Can't preach it, just as they did in Confession 1. Let's look at the third and last confession here. Same magazine, different page. Look what's underlined here. It says what? We find it that no one prior to 1844 had ever claimed to have given this threefold message. Threefold message. That's what they call the 3 angels message. The threefold message. They're admitting to us here, no apostle ever preached this gospel message that they preached. No one prior to 1844 ever preached it. And they told us in confession number 1, there's no way that they ever can preach it. Because Adventism believes the gospel message is changing over time, and it's for the time and for the settings. But is that what the Bible says? Look at Defeating Adventism number 1. Gospel message is what? 1 Corinthians 15:1-4. It's the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. But yet we have here in Adventism, they're telling us they can't preach the gospel message of the Bible. Which is, my dear brothers, my true dear brothers and sisters out there in Christendom, now you know why Adventism are not Christians. They preach a false gospel message. Let's look at this last slide here before we wrap it up. So the Review and Herald magazine, 2 magazines, 3 quotes tell us this, that the Adventists can't preach the gospel that the Apostle Paul preached. The 3 angels gospel didn't exist in the time of the apostles, didn't exist in the last days. No one prior to 1844 ever heard of this threefold message. My Adventist friends, I'm signing off here again with Galatians 1:8-9, which you can see at the bottom of the screen here. It says what? But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to the one we preach to you, let him be accursed. As I said before, so now I say again, if anyone is preaching to you a gospel contrary to the one you received, let him be accursed. Adventist, Galatians 1 is applying this curse to you. You have a different gospel. You have a 3 angels gospel, which is not the saving gospel of the Bible.